All right, welcome back. It is December 2nd, and we're continuing the magic and mayhem of our GRTV Christmas calendar. This isn't Bengt. You may notice this is actually Rasmus. Rasmus, the delightful man from Denmark, is going to tell us and talk to us today about PCs. Particularly, what games we're looking forward to. But first, let's talk about the format. Let's talk about PCs. Where are we at the moment with the PC market?
PC is in probably the best place it's been in ages. You know, when this console generation started, there was the longest while where PC was pretty much this sort of second-rate format that got bad ports, and everybody was focusing on console because that's where all the sales were. But as the generation has been dragging on, suddenly PC has become this high-end gaming market where you get experiences that are both different from what you get on consoles, and when you get the same games, they look much better on PC. So, there's this cliche about the PC gaming master race, but it really hasn't felt more appropriate than it does right now.
Except that point, yeah, but it feels like basically PC's being downgraded by other console ports.
Yeah, well, it used to be like that, but now, PC is the lead platform for a lot of games, and the definitive versions of many games are coming on the PC. Even though there's a console port, the console port often feels inferior now.
Yeah.
So PC is, probably the place to be, to put it in a cliche way.
But obviously the benefits aren't just graphical. There's a lot more to PC that you won't see on consoles, or not see as much at the moment.
Obviously, yeah, like there's stuff like modding, of course, where, given the proper tools being available, people are sort of free to modify or change the game or build new games within the games. There's a variant sort of reason. You get everything from like small things, internet interface improvements, to great big things like total remakes or total conversions, where you have stuff like Black Mesa, for example, the remake of Half-Life 1.
Perfect one.
And then there's also the whole free-to-play thing, where you get games like League of Legends and Tribes Ascend, and I think the new Planet side is free-to-play as well. Where there's a sort of what you might call a trauma or something attached to the free-to-play term, where people think, okay, well, the guy who spends the most money in that game will win. That's not actually the case in a lot of games. So there are some really, really good free-to-play games out there that, at least matches, sometimes surpasses the multiplayer components you get in paid games.
Well, talk us through a couple of games then. Well, we're sort of top three games. If you've got a PC, what you need to get this Christmas.
If we're looking only at PC exclusive games, Hotline Miami, which I've been talking about at length, is probably my favorite.
At length.
But oh my god,
Nothing
that game
else.
is so amazingly good.
Yeah.
And it's also a brilliant showcase of the advantages the PC has, because when you're on console, you pretty much have to only make big budget titles because you have licensing costs and all that stuff. So putting out a small indie game just out of nowhere is pretty hard on console. Whereas PC, you can do whatever you want. And Hotline Miami is a great example of this. There's no way that game would ever pass Nintendo certification because it's just too goddamn violent. But PC, we don't care. So, and for those who don't know, Hotline Miami is this.
Yeah, I think you should fill in the details.
Yeah,
some people maybe haven't heard your
my
exhaustive and passionate rants about it.
Hotline Miami is a sort of 80s inspired, both aesthetically and technologically, top-down, really violent action game where you're this guy who gets messages on his answering machine telling him to go kill people, and then he does it, puts on a rubber mask, and then you murder the living crap out of everybody.
And this is a game where I've heard that your life expectancy is about 10 seconds.
This game is harder than Super Meat Boy. You will die a lot. You will die constantly, and then as soon as you're dead, you hit R for restart, and then you're going the same second. It is a game that doesn't punish you for dying. It's not, punishingly hard. You'll just die a lot, and then you'll figure out, oh, okay, maybe I should try something different here, and then in the end, when you finally nail all those 20 guys with shotguns and you just have a knife, and it feels so good.
Okay, so a game you should only experience on PC.
Well, you pretty much only can experience it on PC, but yes, you should. If you have a PC, this is a game to get, and it's also dirt cheap. So.
Okay, so going from that end of the scale all the way over to graphical marvels.
Yeah,
only available on PC.
If we're still talking PC exclusives, and you want the other end of the scale, something like Guild Wars 2 is, it's the biggest MMO launch this year. There's been quite a few, but this one was probably the biggest, barring, I think Star Wars came out last year.
Yeah. Star Wars.
Yeah. Star Wars crashed and burned pretty much, whereas Guild Wars has been, keeping the torch high. they've been doing something different with the MMO genre, which is a nice touch, you know, or a breath of fresh air, because for the past few years, everybody has been trying to copy World of Warcraft pretty much, to varying degrees, whereas the Guild Wars developers Arena, they're all a bunch of ex-Blizzard guys. Some of them worked on Diablo, some of them probably worked on World of Warcraft. They wanted to do something different, at least. So the game moves away from that really cliched structure that most MMOs have, where some NPC will have a big question mark over his head and that tells you, hey, I have a task for you. Okay, go kill 20 wolves hunting my cow field or whatever, and then you go and kill those, and you go back, and then you get a reward, and it's frightfully boring. Guild Wars tries to build this sort of real, believable world where, you know, events, quests just sort of appear before you in a way. Like, okay, you'll see some guys attacking a bridge. Maybe I should stop those guys attacking those bridges. And if you don't, the bridge will be gone. And if you do, you save the day. So
feels wholly natural.
Yeah, that's the goal. You know, sometimes it feels less natural than this, but mostly.
At least they're trying. They're trying to do something different, which is a big thing.
Succeeding a large part of the way.
Cool. Last but not least,
Torchlight.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, okay. Why?
Because, you know, it's a Diablo clone, but everybody has Diablo, or some people were disappointed in Diablo. Torchlight is a game for people who didn't feel like Diablo 3 was Diablo enough. Or for the people who are just on a budget, or for, you know, for anyone who enjoys a good loot hunt and a good dungeon crawl, because Torchlight really is that. It takes everything that was good about Diablo 2 and puts it into a sort of more modern packaging.
So people have picked up Diablo 3, went, shift their money, shift their time over to this.
This is just go to Torchlight 2, and even, you know, the people who like Diablo 3 will probably like it as well, even though they're pretty different in some ways, but, you know, who cares?
Cool. Excellent. Well, again, thanks very much indeed for the recommendations. Well, that's us for the show. We're going to shift on to our regular indie darling, as well as Emily, about the competition.
So one game I played recently, which I really, really love, and I hope you guys play it out there, is Dear Esther. It's a 45 minutes experience where you just walk, you can not interact with everything, but the visuals and the journey is absolutely great. I really recommend it if you have a 45 minutes left to enjoy a really different and nice experience.
A game of dwarves. Build a glorious dungeon fit for a dwarf king. Mine for crucial ore and valuable minerals to build your dwarven empire. Feed your hungry dwarves and furnish their rooms with dwarven wares. Construct grand halls adorned with precious gems. But beware the dangerous beasts lurking in the underworld.
Hi, I'm Emily, and that was the trailer for Game of Dwarves. Today's question is, what is the name of the dwarven member of the Fellowship in Lord of the Rings? If you think you know the answer, write us an email at xmas@gamereactor.eu. Make sure we get your email before 12 noon tomorrow, Central European Time, for a chance to win 5 Steam codes for Game of Dwarves. Good luck!